In softball, it's the Miller Lite Super 16 Game of the Week featuring Lettuce and the RZA Ford Rockers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Forest Park. Steve Cash along with Mike North, and we've been all over the place. We were in Bensonville, and now we're back at Forest Park.
Grant Park.
That's right, Grant Park. And Mike, we're seeing another good one tonight. Before this one now, we had the finals of the Majors Championship, and that game that was played at Grant Park, of course, was suspended due to rain. We completed that just earlier this evening. And let's take a look at what happened. Splitters, of course, and Lettuce. And here's the game-winning hit, bottom of the 12th, as Lettuce loaded the bases. Mike Lopez singles in Todd Van Horn, who was running for Ray Tops. Lettuce wins it by a final of 9-8, taking the Majors Championship for the 5th time in the last 6 years. And tonight we get to see this same Lettuce team taking on the RZA Rockers, who beat Lettuce last night in another game.
Yeah, they beat Lettuce last night. The RZA Rockers, a mystery. I mean, out in Mount Prospect right now, Steve, they're 16-8. Here at Forest Park, they're under 500. They're about 55-29 overall. But I think this is the right time to play Lettuce in a way, because Lettuce just won this Grant Park Championship for the 5th time in 6 years. Then again, though, Lettuce last night, with a overall record of 55-12 and 10-4 in the Pro League, loses to RZA. So now maybe it's a bad time to be playing the Lettuce team. So, you know, it's going to be a great game. Lettuce is the class right now of Super 16-inch softball. RZA trying to get some respectability and see what happens tonight. Maybe a surprise.
All right, we'll see what happens. We have all the stats and stories and the opening lineups here from Forest Park. Stay with us as our coverage of Super 16 softball on a rather windy night continues on Sports Channel. The Miller Lite Super 16-inch League is sponsored in part by Miller Lite, the Miller Brewing Company, and their Chicagoland distributors, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By De Beer, makers of the Clincher Gold Series of bats and the official 16-inch Clincher softball. By The Score, Sports Radio 1160, keeping fans informed with sports coverage of Chicago's own 16-inch softball. And by the Chicago Sun-Times $1 Million Break the Bank Social Security Sweepstakes. See your Sun-Times for details.
If you want improved performance, then you want a Clincher bat. From the Clincher Silver with its unique end load to the Clincher Gold Series, the balanced Clincher Gold, and the new C405, featuring an oversized hitting surface and modified end load system. Pick one up today. Feel the difference, accept the challenge, and push the limits with De Beer. We built one for you.
Cashel North back with you. Forest Park, Brett O'Connell Field. We got Lettuce, and we've got the Rockers. And Mike, let's go through the lineups.
All right, Steve, here we go. And first of all, for Lettuce of the lineup, Randy Russ in left field, Mike Lopez DH it. You got Lopez at second base, Barron at shortstop, Manny Biondic in right field, Bobby Russ at first, Timmy Duddleson at short center, O'Neill at third, McManigal at center, catcher Holohan, and the pitcher Tommy the Bomber Horn. Defensively for the Rockers, let's take it around. Nicholas, Schaff, Stout, left to right. Michi, Gardner, Ziegler, McCarthy, Villainous from third to first, and Caputo and Zadale are the battery. By the way, we have to really announce a sad deal here. Dominic Carfano passed away, Steve. 92 years old. Dominic Carfano, who had been a fixture at Forest Park.
Absolutely,
and also a member of the Softball Hall of Fame, passed away. I used to call him Jake LaMotta. People remember that from the past year's telecast.
Well, as Randy Russ steps in, Forest Park had a nice tribute before the game today, giving a little moment of silence for the gentleman. We will miss him. Randy Russ bounces one to left. Right there, I should say, to second base. Jimmy McCarthy and Eddie Valunas, one out. Yeah, well, here's Mike Lopez, who helped win that classic, which was suspended over until today, right before this game.
He got the hit in the alley. Somebody had told him to run to first.
Really? Up the middle. Good play by the short center fielder, Greg Ziegler, delivering to Valunas for 2 outs. Nice play there by the first baseman.
And you want to know something? Lettuce might be a little revved up from winning the Grant Park thing that was played just before. Watch this. Chops down. It's a tomahawk swing. Tries to use his speed, but to no avail.
Some pitchers might try to get that, guys. And Petty Caputo is very experienced. Let it go to his younger guy behind him, Ziegler, and over to Valunas for the out.
Here's Bobby Lopez, and I want to mention George Bliss is also with us in the booth, as George Kamenos is down in the dugouts, providing some much-needed assistance with stats and substitution. 2 outs here, top of 1.
By the way, Bubba Zedek, not Zadale, is catching. It was spelled Z-E-D-A-L-E on my sheet.
Zadale Threet.
Yeah.
Here's
Still
Lopez.
playing.
Here's Lopez, 2 outs. Bouncer, good play by the shortstop. Throwing,
Nice
got
play.
his man, Dennis Gardner, to Valunas there. So nice defense by the Rockers to get out of the top of the first. They put Lettuce down 1, 2, 3, and Mike will go to the bottom half with number 2. Lettuce, nothing. Rizzo Rockers coming out. Here we go, bottom half of number 1. Rizzo Rockers coming up, and this is their batting order. Michael?
All right, McCarthy, Gardner, Coote, Zedek, Ziegler, Valunas, Nicholas Stout, Schaff, Michi, and Caputo rounding it out for the Rizzo Rockers. Defensively for Lettuce, familiar names. They're like the New York Yankees of softball now. I mean, people have been watching for years know these names. Now, Randy Russ, McManigal, Biondic, left to right, O'Neill, Barron, Duddleston, Lopez, Russ, third to first, Horn, and Holohan are the batters. You want to know how they've been on for a while? I'm starting to pronounce everybody's names right.
Beautiful. Well, they'll lead it off with Jimmy McCarthy, then Dennis Gardner, and Tim Cutt.
Look at my guy.
Coote.
Look at Tommy Horn. Looks like a professor, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The bomber.
And he played some great defense in that suspended
Yes, he did.
game held over.
2 shots that he caught. You're allowed a step and a half off the rubber. It's a 1-and-1 count. The pitchers will field their position.
Jim McCarthy, here we go. 2 strikes on him. Bouncer. Lopez at second, up with it. 1 out.
Lopez just going over to his right, making a nice play. Nice little hopper. This infield's in great condition tonight. We had some rain a little bit last night. Watch it. Takes a nice infielder's bounce at the last second. Right there. Boom. Gets down, looks it in.
You know, Mike, for 4 years, Bobby Lopez has tried to crack the starting lineup, and this year he's done it every game at second base, and he's filled in pretty well. His defense has come up this far.
Here's Dennis Gardner now. Zeros across the board. Bottom of 1. 1 out here. Gardner will be followed by Tim Cutt, the extra hitter, then Bubba Zedek if they get that far. Yeah, we begin with a 1-and-1 count. The pitchers, Mike?
Yeah, 1-on-1 count. The pitchers, a step and a half drag that you're allowed. And you'll see your good pitchers back up after releasing the ball. Watch Tommy Horn. Way back there, he becomes another infielder.
Gardner taking for his second stride, and again, if he hits a foul ball, you're out.
Fastest moving game.
It's only after 2 strikes. Here's a shot, base hit, and it goes to the gap. Randy Russ and McManigal out there. Stand-up triple for Dennis Gardner. I thought Randy was going to cut it off.
That looked like miscommunication. I thought Randy probably thought the left fielder was going to take it. The left fielder thought that Randy was going to take it. And instead, nobody took it. McManigal watching Randy Russ walk by. Watch this. They look at each other. It was perfectly placed. It's a nice hit. It hit that grass and skidded.
Hey, who's got him at home, Bubba?
Said it was moist out there from an earlier rain last night and today. So Rizzo has their first hit and a man on third with only 1 out. Here's Tim Cutt, the extra hitter. Fly ball, that's all they needed, gets the run in. Biondic under it. He will concede the run. 1-0 Rizzo Rockers.
And that's what you want to do. You want to get on the board against this team and then hope you can catch fire. They got on the board in the last game against them, the Grant Park game, but it didn't do them much good after that.
Nice job, Timmy.
It's going to be interesting to see how Lettuce can come back from 6-7 runs. So 1 run is not enough to even get to beat this team.
You know, Mike, we talk about it so often, but the best teams right here always seem to know how to manufacture runs.
Right.
Now, other teams that aren't so good, maybe the guy tried to go for a base hit right there,
That's
but the runs
right.
are so important. Right here, it's a sac fly. Get under it, hit a fly ball, you know you're going to bring that run in. Otherwise, it might be a ground ball to the pitcher, and that guy gets stuck
You're
on
right,
third.
Steve, or a liner to second base. The guy snags it, and the guy at third isn't going anywhere.
This is Bubba Zedek Fly ball, Randy Russ dealing with the trees and the lines, and he's got it for the third out. But RZA Rockers come up with one thanks to the triple by Gardner and the sack RBI by Timmy Cutts. We'll go to the top half of number 2. Russ running in, RZA on top by 1.
They just reel off an 18-yard run. He goes, oh, that's a break for the Packers, and it's offsetting. No, it isn't, knucklehead. They gained
Same score station, new score location, now 24 hours a day. The Score, Sports Radio 1160.
Nike and Sport Mark present Terrell Brandon.
Terrell Brandon has superhuman concentration. I want my whole team to have it.
Bring it home to Mom. Come on, bring it home.
Every player should be that clutch, like a Zen master. Simon says, ignore the trash talker. Simon says, bend those knees, hands on hips. Simon didn't say that. Terrell says he's just born with it. Well, look at him. It's not natural. Terrell, how do you do it?
Nike basketball shoes available at Sport Mark.
The strong arms of the Blue Jays have rocketed them to the top of the pitching standings. Dave Martinez and friends will need plenty of turbo power to take Toronto to town.
Back in Forest Park, heading to the top half of number 2. Lettuce still looking for their first hit. Richie Barron to lead it off, be followed by Matt Biondic and Bobby Russ. Beautiful night in Forest Park, and we're happy to bring it to you here on Sports Channel. Ground ball, a short center fielder. The defense continues to be impressive for RZA, Ziegler to Volunis. Here's Matt Biondic now, 1 out. Lettuce still looking for their first hit. Pat Caputo has retired 4 in a row. Does he have a gap? Trouble. He does. As I say that, Biondic, and watch the speed on Biondic. He will go for the home run. Throw to the plate. He's got it.
Well, you know what, Steve? I've said this all along, and George Bliss knows how I feel about Matty Biondic. I think he's the most underrated ball player in the game. I mean, you know, you hear about all the stars of the game, and Matty Biondic, all he's got is world championships to show for it. And watch this. He takes a pitch, lets it come down to his waist, turns his body, directs it right where he wants it, and there's no chance for Nicholas or Schaff to come up with it. A home run for, in my opinion, one of the most unheralded players in the game of softball.
Mike, he runs so hard. He's one of the most unselfish players in the game. And remember, in 91, he was the MVP of the Nationals.
And you know, you never hear about him.
No, you
never hear about him. You hear about all the big boppers.
Here's Bobby Russ now. They'll be honored at a Hall of Fame dinner a little later this fall.
We'll be there.
Live ball to Keith Stout. Bobby Russ is retired, 2 outs in the inning. Here's Tommy Duddleston now with 2 outs.
No, another guy that's an unheralded ball player. Just shows up every night like Biondic.
Michael Neal on deck if he gets on. There's a little rope,
nice,
and that's down the line for a base hit. Duddleston in the second with a stand-up double.
Knew what he wanted to do right off the bat. Pick that pitch up, and he just laced it down the left field line.
Well, that was just a knuckleball down there.
The 2 guys I've talked about, the guys that nobody talks about, Duddleston and Biondic, come right through.
Well, you can tell by the spin of the ball. You can kind of see it there, but that sucker was just a knuckleball and a perfect shot down the left field line. Stand-up double to keep things alive here with 2 outs in the second. Here's Rob Lowe, Michael Neal.
That's my guy, Rob Lowe. He was great in about last night. Unreal.
He was, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So was the mean. Ground ball to second. Jim McCarthy, 3 outs. But Lettuce ties it with a home run by Matt Biondic. We'll go to the bottom half of number 2. We're all even, 1 apiece.
The tip of the day has to do with lunging or reaching. Over-anxiousness at the plate can cause you to lunge or reach for bad pitches. Anytime the front shoulder gets ahead of the front hip, you're going to lose power and make easy outs. So when you're in your setup, make sure that you're patient and you wait for the ball to get into the hitting zone. And if you do this, you will make good contact.
Heading to the bottom half of number 2. Greg Ziegler, Ed Volunis, and Bill Nicholas to lead it off for the RZA Rockers. We're tied at 1 with Lettuce. Ground ball, Lopez at second. Good balance, 1 out.
Well, you got 2 pretty good teams right now. The Rockers holding tough. They have not had a lot of success here this year. They've had more success at every other park except Forest Park. They're 16-8 out in Bob Prospect. They're about 25 games over 500 overall, but they're under 500 here, and it's one of those things. They're just not getting the breaks this year.
Hey, now. Better be nice up there. I know your number.
I think we better be nice because he might be serious.
Got a little Wally Filkins in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, he's really handsome, man, though. He wants us to be nice, and he's one of the most congenial guys around.
Little pop-up, Bobby Lopez going back, but he's got it for the second out.
I feel responsible somewhat. I think you should, too, and along with George for that out. I think we distracted the young man.
That's right, I think we did. Billy Nicholas, fly ball. Biondic on his horse. It's over his head. Nicholas rounding second. He'll go into third. Will he go home? No. Good cut out there and a stand-up triple for Nicholas.
Here's what I noticed about Lettuce. The one that got by Randy before, and those guys out there, and now this one, they got quick recovery time. A lot of teams would give up almost. Yeah, watch these guys get to the ball.
Yeah, look at this replay. He took a quick glance to right field, and sure enough, he beat him, as they say. Gapped him, and Matty Sussman, too, but Billy Nick standing on third base.
I will tell you this, Matt Biondic did not get a good jump on that ball. Did not get a good jump on that ball. I think he'd tell us that himself.
Well, 2 outs now, runner on third. That represents the lead run. And here's Keith Stout now, the number 8 batter in this Rockers lineup.
You know, this is where the bottom of the lineup has to come through if you're going to beat a team like this.
Stout grounding to Richie Barron. 3 outs, but
nice
he was
hand.
close. Good hustle by Stout getting down the line. Well, wasted triple. You don't see that too often in softball. We'll go to the third. We're still tied at 1 run apiece.
This is Dick, creator of Miller Lite Advertising. Dick knows many Americans work very hard, so he figured, why not do advertising sideways so you can look at it when you are resting? This is what he did.
Just the 2 of us.
Miller Lite. For those special moments when it's just the 2 of you. And no one else.
This commercial is made and approved by Dick.
We all want to fit in, to be a part of the big picture. And it's the same for the athletes of Special Olympics. It's their dream, in fact, not just to win, but to belong. And because of the training Special Olympics gives them, because of the confidence it instills, they do belong. On the field and in life, they belong.
It fits.
Special Olympics. It's training for life.
The Miller Lite Super 16-inch Softball League is sponsored in part by Miller Lite, the Miller Brewing Company, and their Chicagoland distributors, who remind you that anything can happen at Miller time. I had a couple Millers before the game. They're feeling good. Miller's the best. Oh, thank God for light beer, huh? We'd all weigh 250 pounds.
Tastes great.
We'd all be like my guy that we were talking about before.
Top of 3, bottom 3 of the order for Lettuce. Tim McManigal, Dan Houlihan, and Tommy Horn to lead it off. Base hit for Tim McManigal. He also has speed. He'll go for 2. He'll stand, double.
I don't think there's a team taking the extra base better than Lettuce in the business. They got a lot of speed up and down their lineup, and all they have to see is that ball's near the alley and that there's going to be a few bounces in the outfield, and they automatically go to second.
And McManigal's brother does that as well. Ground ball with Dennis Gardner. Houlihan thrown out, 6-3.
And he'd like to have that ball back. I mean, what you got to do, and this is what happened to Lettuce and Grant Park, which cost him a 4-0 lead. You got to move that guy over to third base.
1 out.
There's Pops Russ over there at third base. Bobby Russ Sr. coaching.
Ground ball to short center. Up with it. 2 outs. McManigal goes the third.
You're going to make it out, move the guy over, so now anything that's hit that's bobbled, this guy can score on.
Back to the top of the order now, Randy Russ, who bounced out to McCarthy at second his first time up. Fly ball, he gets under it. Dave Schaff going deep, but under it for the third out of the inning. So they don't get one across. And we're going to head to the bottom half of number 3 now. Got a good one going for you at Forest Park. Lettuce and Rizza tied at 1.
The broadcast rights of the Super 16-inch Softball League have been granted to Sports Channel by Intellectual Properties Group. Any reproduction of this game without written consent, and I mean this, written consent of Intellectual Properties Group and Sports Channel is prohibited, and you'll be taken on the back and gunned down.
Wow.
It is the bottom of the third. And by the way, the guys from the 50 to 63 era, while we got some time, Steve, Ed Earl, Don Ducky Dulbis, Gene Raybeck, Bill Lefty Hunt, not Gene Rayburn from Match Games, remember the Match Game? Gene Raybeck, Bill Lefty Hunt, and Robert Lemon. Congratulations to the guys who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame from 1950 to 1963.
Here's Dave Schaff, number 9 batter, leading off the third here for the Rockers. They're tied with Lettuce at 1. To Mike O'Neill, 1 out.
Sort of a boring game right now. I mean, there's a little flashes of this and that going, but even the outs are boring. Usually we got a couple nice plays, some sparkling plays, but right now, slow grounders. Seems to be a lackadaisical flat game right now.
Let's go, guys, let's go.
Ron Michi flying out to Matt Biondic, 2 outs.
Yeah, Melman against Michi.
Look at that, the space shuttle Mike is taking off, and our trio video cameras have caught it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sight. I think that's a plane crash. We better investigate.
Wow.
Look at
The
that. Isn't that nice?
score is Sports Radio 1160 AM.
Round the clock. We're on at night. Just don't go to Tinley Park.
We got Van Leer and Buffon in the morning. North and Jiggets in the afternoon.
Middays.
Middays.
And McNeil and Boers in the afternoon. Then you got Mike Murphy.
Where's Tommy?
Tommy Wheels coming on third.
Randy Russ.
Don't worry about Tommy, partner.
Takes care of Patty Caputo here in the third.
He loved that. They'll talk about that tomorrow on the truck.
Some runs, folks. We're on to the fourth. We're still tied at 1 piece.
Hey fans, win a trip to see the Sox take on the Royals in Kansas City September 17th by playing the Southwest Airlines Trivia Trove Contest. To enter, send a White Sox trivia question and answer on a 3x5 card with your name, address, and phone number to Trivia Trove, care of Sports Channel, 625 North Michigan Avenue, Suite 2101, Chicago, Illinois, 60611. If your question is used, you could win airfare, game tickets, and overnight accommodations for 2 from Southwest Airlines, a symbol.
Now, there are 2 ways you can experience the net. Your regular old telephone wire, or broadband from Media One Express. With broadband, you don't have to dial up.
Now you're really going to be rocking.
Like they do. And you can download from the net up to 50 times faster than those guys. Broadband gives you a lot more of...
Hey, baby. Come here often.
Whatever you're into. So come on, which way are you going to experience the net? Media One Express. This is the way.
Why did a Barrington Hills physician drive to Burr Ridge when she decided to redecorate her living room?
Quality.
Why did a stockbroker from Holland, Michigan come to D. Edmonds when he wanted to furnish his summer home?
Selection.
Why did a company president from Highland Park send his neighbor to Burr Ridge for a new bedroom ensemble?
Service. Quality, selection, service. It's what D. Edmonds Interiors and Floor Fashions is all about. Isn't it time you made the trip and found out for yourself? D. Edmonds Interiors and Floor Fashions in Burr Ridge.
Oh, look at this little cutie. Thank God. You're going to run up a lot of bills for your parents, aren't you, little one? Huh? You're going to cost your mom and dad, about $300,000 over their lifetime. But they'll take good care of you.
At least.
That's just for college.
You know what's great? Yeah, I mean, to go to Iowa now, it's $17,000 a year. What does Iowa offer? There's no wind, there's no surf, there's just corn.
Good corn.
Forget about it.
Well, they got softball out there, 16-inch.
Yeah.
Top half of number 4, Mikey Lopez gets things going for Lettuce with a base hit to right.
And you know what? You can't wait for Lettuce. You got to jump on Lettuce.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rockers have been too quiet.
1 on, nobody out. To be followed by Richie Barron and Matt Biondic. Biondic homered his last time up. The only run for Lettuce.
Caputo will pitch him differently when he comes up. You know that.
2 strikes on Lopez. Got to keep it fair, and he does. In front of the left fielder, Nicholas. Lopez going the third. In there as the ball gets through. And Lopez, Bobby Lopez, winds up at second.
And he's a little bit hurt right now, Mikey Lopez. A little shook up at third base, but he'll be all right. But what he did, watch what he does. He forces the left fielder to make a play he doesn't want to make. The left fielder probably says, you know what, I want to go to second. Oh. He runs right into his knee.
Oh, wow.
He slid right into Ron Michi, tried to slide under him, and Michi had his left knee down, and that's kind of where the head hit.
Right there.
Shoulder. Boom.
He could have been seriously hurt there, but I'll tell you what. He grabs the bag, and he now has men on second and third because he went for it.
I'll tell you, it hurt Michi's knee. It hurt Lopez's head and shoulder, but all the guys are all right.
Joe Zimbrov concerned, laughing very hard as he walks back to the dugout. Well, they got 30 players on Lettuce. If one of them dies or something,
perfect. Well, we're in the fourth, and Lettuce has something going with runners on second and third and nobody out. Richie Barron with a shot to left. That one gets down. 1 run scores, and Lopez right behind him. The 2 Lopez's scored.
Nice play.
Tossed out at second, but it's going to be a 2 RBI single for Richie Barron and then 1 out.
Well, Billy Nicholas, I think, is playing a little bit too deep. They know that, so they're taking a little bit off their swing. But Nicholas did something that he had to do. He finally threw a guy out because they've been taking the extra base on him all night. Now watch this play. And what an outstanding play by Ziegler. Now, these two guys are going to score. But, you know, a lot of times when you go to play the tag, it can be kicked out of your hands. And let's see if we got a shot at this. No, we don't. We don't have a shot. Here, watch. Great camera work here, guys. Watch. With one hand, he makes the sweep.
Ooh, it was close, too. I thought Barron had the bag. He just put the ball down. It looks like Barron might have had the bag before he touched him
Neighborhood,
out.
big guy, neighborhood.
Neighborhood, he's out.
Legal.
It's the only place he can do that. Instead, with 2 strikes, he goes to the left side, and Billy Nicholas alertly calling everyone off, taking it for the 2nd out of the inning.
Biondic seemed to be overswinging that time. It looked like he wanted to visit home plate once again on a round tripper, but he just overswing and looked a little bit on that play.
So 2 outs now in the inning, 2 runs in, Lettuce leading 3-1, and here comes Bobby Russ, who flew out to the right fielder Stout for the 2nd out back in the 2nd.
You know what Bobby does for a living, guys? Eat. Sell screws.
Oh, yeah. He asked me if I wanted to buy a lug bolt the other day. I said, no, thank you.
Bobby Russ base hit.
Bobby Russ gives me a call and he says, you want to go out to Cicero and do some bowling? I said, yeah, we'll go do some bowling. I do a lot of bowling, right? So I said, yeah.
You talking senior or junior?
Bobby Russ Jr.
Junior, okay, there he is.
Invites me out to do some bowling.
There's senior.
Bowls. I bowl 5 200 games or better. I lose 5 of them.
Perfect.
The kid, I shoot 222, he shoots 224. I shoot 218.
The kid, not the dad, right?
Yes, the kid. No,
Junior.
the kid. Junior. Right, Junior. Bobby Russ Jr.
And of course, there's Randy Russ, who's the other brother. Here's Tommy Duddleston up now. 2 outs, 1 on. Eddie Caputo trying to get out of the inning.
Hit and run was on.
Hit and run was on. Oh, and it's bobbled by the shortstop. And, you know, they're going to be safe there at first on the E6. How much did the hit and run have to do with the shortstop losing?
All of everything.
A lot. I mean, he looked up. He was distracted. He saw Russ running. Watch. Puts his head up just a little bit. He was like he was going to go to second anyway. There was no chance for him there.
Great diversion.
So now runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here's Mike O'Neill, bounced out to second his first time up. Grounded to short. This time he throws it hard, and Dennis Gardner has Mike O'Neill, but damage was done as Lettuce gets 2 more on 3 consecutive singles. Richie Barron with 2 runs batted in the inning. We'll go to the bottom half of number 4. Lettuce has opened up a 2-run lead. Cashel North, Bliss, Commodus, Beth Atkinson with us. We're all here tonight. Dave Turner, our producer-director, Doug Stanton with us. Oh, base hit.
Overran the bag, made the turn. A nice alert play by the right fielder, Matt Biondic, to get it into Bobby Russ. Let's see it again.
Base hit off the bat.
Look at this.
Jim McCarthy, and they nail him at first on the turnaround.
That is an outstanding play.
Will you look at that tag by Bobby Russ, Mike? Let's see it one more time, guys. That is no gloves softball at its best, right here.
And watch the alert play.
Just nicked him on the heel.
By the way, the Miller Lite Super 16-inch softball league is sponsored in part by the beer makers of the Clincher Gold Series of bats and the official 16-inch Clincher of softball.
Forest Park, bottom of 4. Lettuce leading 3-1. Dennis Gardner with a shot. McManigo on his horse. Over his head.
He's home. He's going home. He's going for it. Here's the play.
Play at the plate, safe. Wow. No doubt McManigo had trouble with the post out there.
He was afraid he was going to run into the post. I can't blame him. You know what? They got the lead. And really, it was one of these deals where if he could have gotten to it, he would, even if he had to run into the post. But see, it went right off it. Nice backup by Biondic. See, they're so good at getting the ball in. They made this a close play.
Yeah, but Gardner has himself a home run, and I thought McManigo was going to catch up with that.
I like this kid Gardner. He's got a triple and a home run tonight. He's been the whole offense for this ball club.
And I hate to be hokey. How big was that play right before this?
It was huge.
Otherwise, we'd have a tie game. Here's Timmy Cutt. Timmy cut. Oh, knocked down by Horn. Taken by Richie Barron. 2 outs.
Nice play, and that's where a pitcher can help out. That ball might have fled through, puts a hand on it, alert play, and they're out. Here it is. Now watch Horn. He doesn't really want to do this, but it's reaction.
Just slow it down.
A pitcher thinks he can come up with anything.
And look at Richie Barron, the smooth pickup at short, delivering to Bobby Russ for the second out of the inning.
You throw anything to Bobby Russ, it's caught.
Here's the number 4 hitter now, Bubba Zedek. He's the catcher. Flew out to left his first time. He hits a shot in front of Randy Russ in left for a base hit to keep things alive here for the RZA Rockers in the 4th.
1-1 count. That's why you'll see a lot of swinging on the first pitch. These batters don't want to fall behind.
Bobby Lopez gets a great bounce, 3 outs. But Rockers come up with one on a home run by Dennis Gardner. Placing it perfectly where McManigal had trouble with the light post.
Hey.
Got a good game going, folks. We'll go to the top half of number 5.
Nothing. For a moment, I thought your parents were home.
If you want improved performance, then you want a Clincher bat. From the Clincher Silver with its unique end load to the Clincher Gold Series, the balanced Clincher Gold, and the new C405, featuring an oversized hitting surface and modified end load system. Pick one up today. Feel the difference, accept the challenge, and push the limits with De Beer. We built one for you.
Number 9, 10, and 11 hitters for Lettuce here. They lead 3-2 in the 5th. Timmy McManigal will be followed by Dan Houlihan and Tommy Horn. Shot here, deep to left. Billy Nicholas over. He's got it, 1 out.
Can of corn, as we say in the business. Can of corn. And that's the outfielder's friend.
Here's Danny Houlihan now. Grounded to short back in the 3rd. 1 out here for Lettuce.
Nice shot.
Base hit.
Nobody's getting that one
seen today.
So after a meek ground out in the 3rd, and he comes back hard.
Here's Doug Perez pitching for Tommy Horn in the number 11 position. 1 on, 1 out for Lettuce here. They lead 3-2 in the 5th.
Now, is this a re-entry, George?
Could be. We'll find out.
Got a gapper, but Billy Nicholas over once again. Good hit, but he's retired for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, this has got to be. I mean, this isn't going to be like that Hustler North Star game where they took their pitcher on and won 3-1, is it? Yeah. Well, I mean, are they going to? They got Egg Zarnik, but still.
Hey, they got Egg Zarnik. I mean,
here's Randy Russ now with 2 outs. Runner on first. Randy bounced out the 2nd, back in the 1st. Flew out to center his last time up. Got a shot over the short center fielder's head. Houlihan on his horse. Randy Russ going the 2nd for a stand-up double.
Nice shot by Randy Russ. A lot of balls going over the shortstop's head tonight. They're getting a full swing. They're getting to extend their bats. Here we go. Watch. Looking it in. Wait until it comes down. Boom. Puts everything into it just out of the reach of the short center, Ziegler.
Mike Lopez, 1 for 2. Singled and scored back in the 4th. He will stand in. Hero earlier tonight, winning the Chicago Classic, which was held over from the Grant Park tournament. Fine shot, base hit. He's got 2 more.
That hurts.
Here comes 4-3 and 5-3 on the double by Mikey Lopez.
Mikey Lopez making things happen tonight. He had the big inning in the 4th when he got a base hit. Went from 1st to 3rd, forced him to throw. Moved the runner over to 2nd, and now watch this. Goes the other way. Watch how he turns the body. Waits, and you know what? The pitches look almost too good. They look too perfect. I mean, they're allowed to extend their bat, turn their body, and they're right over the heart of the plate. Caputo's got to step back now, take a breath, and get ready.
2 doubles in a row. 3 hits in the inning. Bobby Lopez, ground ball to short center. Ziegler up with the 3 outs, but Lettuce comes back with 2 more. Big hit to Mike Lopez, 2-run double. We'll go to the bottom half of number 5. That's now leading by 3.
Hey, the Miller Lite Super 16-inch Softball League is brought to you by the Chicago Sun-Times, $1 Million Break, the bank Social Security sweepstakes. See your Sun-Times for details.
Nacho's looking good here at Forest Park.
Greg Lazinski at the ball yard tonight. How can he resist the great food at Forest Park?
Lettuce and the Rockers.
I'm so hungry now, George. I'd eat the dirt around the pitching rubber.
I think the McGaffers, right? They're coming out with some burgers and dogs later.
Boy, you're always begging. That's what I love about you. You don't miss a beat.
Don't miss too many meals either.
No, we can't.
I'll watch Flick. Ground ball. Duddleston.
Smooth. 1 out. Smooth. They're not hitting the ball right now. They only got 5 hits. I mean, for a team like this, they got to do better than that. And 3 of them were last inning.
Here's Billy Nicholas. He's played with some confidence in left field thus far. Tripled his last time out, but was stranded at 3rd. Back in the 2nd. Line shot. Oh, look at that off the hands of Tommy Duddleston.
That's a base hit.
I think he almost thought, really?
It looked like it rose on him. It looked like it rose on him.
It almost looked like he was too confident. It really looked like it was going to be easy for him.
Watch this. It's like, I'm not going to jump for this because I don't have to, but watch it rise. There it goes. It just missed. Right. You got to give him a hit.
All right. Shot, base hit. So now the RZA Rockers have something going with 1 out, runners on 1st and 2nd, and Dave Schaff will stand in.
And the extra hitter or the replacement hitter, that's what happened with Bomber because he's back in the game. Now they can't do that anymore, right, George?
That's correct. They can't re-enter
only once.
For Tommy.
Re-entry is once.
If Tommy goes out again, he is out for the entire game.
I never liked the re-entry rule. I just don't like it. I think it takes something away from the game.
This one's down. It's trouble. It's down. Base hit for Schaff. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. He will hold up at 3rd with a stand-up triple, making it a 5-4 game. RZA Rockers are still alive.
That's about as pretty a shot as you'll see in a game of 16-inch softball. Let's see this baby again. Once again, we're seeing lefties go to the right and righties go to the left. Watch this. Boom. The righty going to right field. Right down the line, just inside. Plenty of time. There's only 1 out. He says, I'm not going to try for the home run here.
So 5-4 game here in the 5th. Watch this now. Runner on 3rd. Only 1 out.
Gotta go.
Tag up McManigal to the plate. It's going to be close. He's in there. We're tied at 5.
That's a heck of a play, a heck of a throw by McManigal out there to the catcher whole hand, but he just didn't get there in time. Watch it. Michi does the right thing. Says, I just got to get this run in. Watch McManigal. Perfect. And watch the throw. Right there, nice play. Tries to block the play with his foot. Nice slide head first.
2 outs. Dorson down to Duddleston. 3 outs, but 3 runs come across on 3 consecutive hits. The big blow, a Dave Schaff triple with 2 runs batted in. We'll go to the 6th, folks. All kinds of fireworks. As we're tied now at 5.
All over town, once decent law-abiding citizens are cashing in on a quick buck, pocketing hundreds, thousands every day, plus up to $10,000 on Sundays, all just for entering and matching their Social Security numbers in the Sun-Times every day. And if $270,000 cash isn't enough, there's even a shot at a cool $1 million. That's right, all the marbles, the whole enchilada, well, you'll get the picture. Big, very big. The Sun-Times break the bank $1 million sweepstakes, hundreds of thousands in prizes, 100% legal, or at least that's their story.
Dodge Ram is number 1 in horsepower, number 1 in torque, number 1 in payload. Dodge Ram is even number 1 in ownership experience. In fact, Dodge Ram is number 1 in more categories than any full-size pickup. So by changing all the rules about what a truck should be, Dodge pickups are now number 1 in sales growth all across America. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
They just reel up an 18-yard run. He goes, oh, that's a break for the Packers, and it's offsetting. No, it isn't, knucklehead. They gained
Same score station. New score location. Now 24 hours a day. The Score, Sports Radio 1160.
Cashel North back with you. Georgie Bliss, Georgie Kamenos. We're at Forest Park on a beautiful night, folks. We're tied at 5. Got a heck of a game going between Lettuce and the RZA Rockers.
Doesn't get any better than this. By the way, the 80s, 90s era, Hall of Fame, only one inductee, Wally Filkins. We know Wally.
Most
deservedly so. And for the women, Mary Kay Schaefer Monahan. Congratulations to both those individuals.
Well, here we go to the 6th. Lettuce and RZA all tied. And here's Richie Barron. 1 for 2 with 2 RBI.
Now watch
followed by Matt Biondic and Bobby Russ.
Watch Lettuce wake up now. What did I just say?
Base hit. Catch
we had
Billy
base
Nicholas.
hit pegged on that. Billy Nicholas coming in, making a great play. The ball seemed to hang a little bit, but it was still an outstanding play. Watch this. Look at
Defensive
Nicholas.
play of the game thus far. Billy Nicholas going to his right. Acrobatic catch. Great camera work here. Billy Nicholas robbing Richie Barron of a base hit.
Look like a wide receiver. Got to shake the kinks out now because your body takes a jarring when that happens.
Biondic homered back in the 2nd. I'll just elevate my voice, okay, Mike?
Go ahead,
Ground
Al.
ball. Oh, knocked down by the first baseman.
Oh!
The flip on the error.
That's an error on the first baseman.
Ed
That wasn't a
Balunas
necessary.
got his paw down to knock that ball down. Tried to feed Caputo covering.
All he has to do is turn here.
But he threw it beyond.
He had plenty of time. All he had to do was spin and throw.
E3. So 1 on and 1 out now. Bobby Russ will stand in.
Nice hit.
Got himself a single to right. No play at 2nd. 1st and 2nd, still 1 out. Tommy Duddleston will be up.
That's just good hitting. I mean, Caputo put the ball where he wanted it. The kid's just a fantastic hitter. Well, I'll tell you, there's not a whole lot of holes out there, but he's got to go to the right side and move these guys. It's a tie ball game.
Duddleston doubled back in the 2nd. Got to keep it in play, and he does. Oh, great play by the short center fielder, retiring Biondic at 3rd.
Guys, that was 100% Patty Caputo. He caught the eye of Tommy Duddleston, looked outside, and pitched it inside, and Tommy got crossed up on this one.
It's not a fastball, though, George. Even if it's inside, he can turn his body
But
and go
just
to
for
the right
that
side.
second, Mike, he got him fooled. That's the nuances of softball.
Tommy Duddleston knows better. That's all.
Oh, of course he does.
He knows better. And he'll tell you that himself.
Yeah, Patty won that one, Mike.
He sure did.
But what a great play by Greg Ziegler
Awesome.
at short center, delivering to Michi to retire Biondic going to 3rd. They cut off that lead run there. Now 2 outs, and here's Mike O'Neill, who's grounded out twice. Make it 3 times.
Bad inning for Lettuce.
3 outs.
Bad inning for Lettuce. That's the 2nd time in this game they haven't moved the runners.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 error. They left a couple. We'll go to the bottom half of number 6. Got a good one going for you, folks, as we're still tied. As any result that looks on, we're all at 5.
The Miller Light Super 16-inch softball league is sponsored in part by The Score, Sports Radio 1160, America's #1 sports radio station. Hey, there she is. Boy, we're having some fun. We got a good crowd out here tonight. This is one of the biggest crowds of the year.
Absolutely. Great night here at Forest Park. Just a little west of the downtown area here in Chicago. For those of you watching on the satellite.
Around the country.
Line shot, caught by Mikey O'Neill, robbing Jim McCarthy to lead off the bottom of the 6th.
A lot harder on TV than it looked. I mean, the ball wasn't hit that hard. O'Neill had time to gather it in.
Absolutely. 2 for 2, and how about Dennis tonight? Tripling in the 1st, he scored. Homering in the 4th. This time he gets under it, Tommy Horn. It's a spinner. He does a good job.
Well, you know what? He had the idea to go over second base, and he just hit it off the end of his bat. And Tommy had some good spin on the ball, and that's what caused that pop-up.
Enthusiasms. Fly ball deep, but Brandy Russ is there. 3 outs. 3 up, 3 down inning. The first time that has happened, I should say the 2nd time all game for Tommy Horn. We'll go to the top half of number 7, and 7 is as many as we play, folks, and we're tied at 5 here at Forest Park.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Romaine. Want to spend a few days with me at the next Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot? You could make a difference here. Because where I work, it's really hot. So if I get thirsty, you could get me something to drink. It's also really sandy. And maybe you could help me with my different swimsuits.
Nothing to do this fall? You could win a trip to the next Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot. Apply where you buy Miller Lite.
bat.
Drove to ballpark with left hand only.
T-shirt inside out. Pre-game meal of chicken. Rubber band on right pinky.
Rub top of groundkeeper's head 3 times.
All right, bring the cheese.
You're out! Socks! Forgot my lucky socks!
The Astros go to war with the Braves in a playoff preview. Thursday at 6:30 on Sports Channel.
Top half of number 7, McManigal, Dan Houlihan, and Tommy Horn.
We're on the edge of our seats up here, aren't we, Steve?
We are. Look at the beautiful sky behind us. It's a gorgeous night. We showed the moon earlier in a ground ball to short. Nice play there by Dennis Gardner, retiring McManigal for a 1 out here in the 7th. Well, we've had a good ball game. It's been up and down as far as the enthusiasm levels.
Look at the fielding here.
But look at this. Houlihan bouncing out to Ziegler. And, you know, Riz has been on their D tonight.
And Eddie Villanis and Bobby Russ, both guys have played outstanding first base.
Yes.
They really have.
With 2 outs here in the 7th, folks, and 1 more out, and then Rizzo will get their chance to win this thing.
No, I'm surprised they're not pinch hitting here, Mike. I really am.
Look at this, though. Tommy Horn. But what a play by Gardner. They got him. Oh, my.
That is an outstanding play. We got to see that baby again. A great play by Dennis Gardner. This kid's been the star of this team tonight. Gardner over to his right. Turns. Gets it over to Villanis. Villanis with the stretch. He's out there by the umpire and gathers it in.
What about Villanis at the first?
Wow, what a play.
Great call, and we'll go to the bottom half of number 7. Rizzo with that enthusiasm, looking for 1 more to win this game.
Yes. The Miller Lite Super 16-inch Softball League is sponsored in part by Miller Lite, the Miller Brewing Company, and the Chicagoland distributors, who remind you, Steve, and everybody out there in America, that anything can happen at Miller time.
Yes.
Now, George, you were saying something. I got to agree with you wholeheartedly about the situation that just happened. They had Tommy Horn out of the lineup earlier with the reentry rule. What would you have done in that situation?
Well, you could pinch hit there. Put in Ray Topps, who's been hitting all year, and then come in with Egg Zarnik to fill in for.
Yeah, what's wrong? These guys in detention?
Well, we'll see what happens.
Bottom of 7, Bubba Zedek, followed by Greg Ziegler and Ed Villanis.
1 for 2 for Zedek tonight.
All they need is 1 to win. Ground ball, Mikey O'Neill. Oh, pulls Russ off the bag, but 1 out.
Bobby Russ is the best foot-working first baseman I have ever seen.
1 out here in the 7th. Might we be headed for extra frame?
Looks good.
Here's 2 outs as Tommy Horn retires him easily.
Tommy Horn, I've been playing with and against him for 20-some years. He must hold the record for balls hit back to the pitcher. And he's one of the best defensive pitchers I've ever seen. And he makes you think you got a huge hole up the middle, but he gets back 3, 4, 5 feet after he releases the ball.
Villanis 0 for 2.
Look at this.
Ball to Horn.
See where he was at? That was beautiful.
We got the hammer.
3 up, 3 downs. We will go to extra innings as we've got an extra inning ball game.
Stoney, I'm running out of places on my sheet.
Go to the 8th. All knotted up at 5. Heading to the 8th. Extra inning game. Lettuce and the Rizzo Rockers.
Well, see, an extra inning game you don't mind. This is something that I look forward to, a game like this. That's what you want to see. 5-5, hey, 1 mistake and it's over.
Deep shot in the gap, but here comes the center fielder over. Nice running catch by Dave Schaff.
Nice play by Schaff. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Schaff.
Mikey Lopez flying out. Right fielder calling off the center fielder.
I'm running out of space on my sport card, Stoney.
I will soon be doing that.
Dennis, I'm on the line.
2 outs in the 8th. Will it happen this time? No.
Can I tell you something? This kid Gardner.
Base hit?
Yeah. Did you see where he made that play? It got by Michi, but did you see where your shortstop made that play?
Deep in the hole.
Look where he ends up. Look where this guy ends up.
Wow.
I like this kid.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Got a good pivot going.
I'm going to steal him for the North Stars.
Richie Barron draws a walk.
Caputo now doing a no-no there, but you know what? There's still a 4. In a way, it isn't a bad play if it's hitting the infield. You can go to third now, go to second, or go to first.
First and second. 2 outs. Nice. Line shot, base hit. Here comes Lopez. He will score. Richie Barron going to third. Lettuce has taken a 6-5 lead here in the 8th.
I rest my case. I rest my case on Matty Biondo. The most underrated ball player in the game.
I'm glad I didn't bet.
I knew he'd come up with it. The kid's game. Watch this. Perfect. Waits for it to come down and puts his whole body into it. And that could be all she wrote. Lettuce is just so good in close ball games.
Line shot, he picks out a gapper. Barron scores. Here comes Biondic. He's not stopping, folks. 3 runs in. Lettuce has taken an 8-5 lead in the 8th.
And Bobby Russ does something that he's been doing for a long, long time. Comes up with a big play, and that's 3 runs. And now it's going to be tough. I mean, you're asking this Rocker team to come up with 3-4 runs. Wide open hole for a left-handed hitter there. I don't understand where they were playing him there.
Well, 2 RBIs each for Lopez, Barron, Biondic, and Russ tonight. That's the 8 runs.
I know they were afraid they're going to dump it. There's 2 outs. You know, you got to play your outfield straight away.
And here's Duddleston now with a runner on first. 8-5.
That ball's tagged.
That's deep. Can Nicholas get over? Oh, he can't grab it. Here comes Bobby Russ with the 9th run. Runner going to third. In there with a triple.
And it's the old adage, and what have I been saying to you for 3-4 years since we've started this Delcan? You can't wait for Lettuce, because Lettuce will come. They will come, Mr. Cashel.
They have arrived with 4 here in the 8th. Here's the last one. Tommy Duddleston with a gapper that Nicholas made a valiant effort, but couldn't come up with.
They're hungry now, and now they're trying to get O'Neill to get going. O'Neill in a little bit of a slump. Tonight he's 0 for 3.
There's a shot. That gets down. Fair ball. 5th run in. Duddleston scores 10-5 on the double by Mike O'Neill.
And they told him, they said, Mikey, come on, everybody's got a hit in this game. You got to show us you can do the job too. We want everybody to contribute.
And look at this, Timmy McManigal trying to keep it alive. He's got a gapper. 11-5 Lettuce. McManigal with a double. And that is the 5th consecutive hit now for Lettuce.
That's why they're the Yankees of softball, mister.
6-run inning for Lettuce. Houlihan with a shot off the short center fielder. McManigal going to third.
Got to give him a hit.
Will give him a base hit. Tommy Horn, the number 11 batter, hit this inning. Base hit. Another run scores. 12-5. Look at this now. Houlihan coming around. 13-5.
The guy comes from first base. You're letting the guy in a base hit go 3 bases. That's ridiculous. And you want to know something? Now, they must have a little pool going on the back. Whoever makes the last out has to pay. Like a beer flame. Now, is Randy Russ going to come up and make 2 outs in 1 inning? Because he'll never hear the end of that.
He won't be able to go to work if that happens.
Well, he'll be able to go to work because they beat Pat Caputo.
Well, he can live with that, I guess.
But this 2 outs in 1 inning.
8 runs on 8 hits in this inning for Lettuce, all after 2 outs. Amazing.
Get out of here, Pat. Come on.
Inning for these guys. Randy Russ, 1 for 4. Batting for the 2nd time this inning.
Watch for the hit and run here.
Eddie, watch yourself, Junior.
This team likes to bury you when you get ahead of you. Oh, Randy Russ.
Randy finishes 1 for 5. But 8 runs on 8 hits, folks. And we'll go to the bottom half of number 8. We're in extra innings, believe it or not, in a 13-5 game. Back with more. The Miller Lite Super 16-inch league is sponsored in part by Miller Lite, the Miller Brewing Company, and their Chicagoland distributors, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By De Beer, makers of the Clincher Gold Series of bats and the official 16-inch Clincher softball. By The Score, Sports Radio 1160, keeping fans informed with sports coverage of Chicago's own 16-inch softball. And by the Chicago Sun-Times $1 Million Break the Bank Social Security Sweepstakes. See your Sun-Times for details. Well, here we go, folks. Bottom half of number 8. Pinch hitter for Rockers, Donnie Schoen.
Sounds like a Vegas lounge act. Donnie Schoen, ladies and gentlemen. The Mill Run.
We'll be showing later.
Donnie Schoen.
We go.
By the way, the umpires in the inductees for 97 Hall of Fame, Bert Leventhal and Dominic Pepperata. Congratulations, guys.
Look at this. Reaches out. McManigal over. He's got it for 1 out.
And the player managers in the 1997 Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame, Dick Cooper and Nick Moose Camilo.
Wow.
So we got a big group going in on October 5th.
What about the media?
The media, how could I forget? Bill Gleason, my old buddy, my grandpappy.
With cigar.
From the South Bend Tribune and the Southtown Economist. And Timmy Maher, the big guy.
Yes.
And Junior Cervoni in the big batter's box now, pitch hitting.
Junior Cervoni, ground ball, Russ to Horn, 2 out.
You devote a lot of time to this game. You don't get a lot of reward out of seeing it and watching it, but you don't get paid anything for it. You've invested a lot of money, and you should be in there.
It's a labor of love, Mike, just like at the Score with you. Labor of love.
It's a labor of money at the Score, George. Don't ever miss it.
Base hit here as Rizza keeps things alive.
All kidding aside, man. It's not a labor of money either, man, because that I love being behind the mic, and I'm sure you do too, Steve. And you know what? I'll tell you this right now. George Bush deserves to go in next year.
I agree, totally. I agree.
How about you, George? You agree?
Well, I got to be humble. Come on. I'm up there with Pat, Steve Cashel, and Mike North, the most well-known sports talk show guy in the country.
Come on.
Hey, Lane Neiman, the captain of Rizza Rockers, is going to bat.
Good. Give everybody a chance. This is what I'm talking about. They got plenty of chances to play now, George.
Look at that. Base hit. 2 base hits in a row now for Rizza, keeping things alive.
That's good to see.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, Lane's had some great years. Still looks pretty good.
Oh, sure.
So first and third now with 2 outs, and here comes Patty Caputo.
Wouldn't it be something if they got 8 runs and tied it up, fellas?
Be a director's nightmare.
How long's this game taken so far?
About an hour and a half. Been into a nice little tight half or hour show. Here's Patty Caputo. 2 outs, 2 on. 13-5 game. Fly ball, McManigal there. That's the ball game. Lettuce wins it 13-5 thanks to an 8-run 8th inning.
I wanted to see more, Steve, but I'll tell you what happened is the Rockers couldn't capitalize in the bottom half of number 7, and Lettuce just took advantage.
Tonight's Miller Lite Super 16 Game of the Week has been produced and directed by Dave Turner.
Davey-O.
Our statistician team is George Bliss and George Kamenos.
Tommy-O.
The coordinating producer from IPG is Chris Hines.
Hold on to your wallets.
From Buck North, I'm Steve Cashel. Saying so long for now. Once again, the winner of tonight's Miller Lite Super 16 Game, Lettuce over the Rockers, 13-5, the final in 8 innings. And the preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel and IPG. See you again next week.
There's a place in Cooperstown, New York, where memories come to life.
It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
That's it. Number 7 is in the book. The remarkable Ryan has done it again. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Where moments become memories, the Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown.
Hey, check out this baby, huh?
Ooh, making me hungry. Hey, do you mind if I make a long-distance call?
Hey, go ahead. Just dial 10321 first.
10321.
We dial it and save money over AT&T on every call in the U.S.
Really?
And half off every call over 20 minutes.
What about monthly fees?
There aren't any. You just dial 10321, then 1 the area code and the number.
Last month I used it on every call and saved a lot of money.
Really?
Yep.
Maybe they taste better than they look.
10321 made a better impression than my cooking.
News travels fast.
This just into Headline News.
That's why people everywhere turn to Headline News. For continuously updated news, business, sports, and entertainment, staying in touch with the world has never been easier. Because it doesn't matter what hour of the day it is, the time for Headline News is always now. Headline News, a CNN network.
Brought to you locally by your favorite Ford dealer. Quality people, quality products.
Jawan Howard from Chicago Vocational High School and the Washington Bullets. Let's jam.
1, 2,
On this month's show, we'll visit a bunch of young athletes preparing to compete in a sport that would intimidate most grown-ups, a triathlon.
It's a challenging goal, and I admire these kids for coming out and do that, because to master 3 sports, especially at such a young age, is very challenging. And if they can do it, I take my hat off to them.
I'll practice my basketball skills against one of the best point guards in the NBA, Tim Hardaway, and find out the history of the killer crossover.
Killer crossover didn't arrive until my last 2 years in college anyway. I always had, a lot of handles. I could do a lot of things with basketball, but I just didn't have the killer crossover until my last 2 years.
And how about the College of Hard Knocks? That could be another name for the Uptown Judo Club that we visited this month. How much does it hurt when you get flipped?
It doesn't hurt at all. Not at all.
And we'll stop by Jared Payton's place to talk about his decision to switch from playing soccer and instead follow in his father's footsteps.
He told me that I just have to stick with it and give it my best and instead not to give up, because it is a hard sport, and, he doesn't want me to just let it go.
All that plus plays of the month.
That ball hit deep to right field. Way back. Buchanan put it on the board. Yeah!
Welcome to another edition of Schoolyard Jam. I'm Brandon Thompson.
And I'm Amy Stone, and today we are at Six Flags Great America, one of the largest amusement parks in the country and also one of the most intense.
Intense is right. And I know someone who's afraid to experience that intensity firsthand.
I didn't say I was afraid. I'm just still thinking about going on some of these rides. I'm thinking.
Well, while she's thinking, let's see if you can get the answer to our trivia question. Walter Payton became the leading rusher in NFL history, surpassing Jim Brown's 12,312 yards in 1984. The question is, against what team did Walter Payton capture the rushing record? We'll have the answer later on in the show.
Everyone's used to multi-sport athletes. In fact, in high school, it's almost commonplace to play 2 sports, but it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication for someone like Deion Sanders to play both baseball and football in 1 year. Well, can you imagine how difficult it would be to tackle 3 sports in 1 afternoon? Well, that's the goal of a triathlete. And as our Jennifer Barker explains, those triathletes can come in smaller packages than you might expect.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Barker from Schoolyard Jam, and today we're talking about one of the toughest physical competitions on earth, a triathlon. What other sport allows you to run, ride a bike, and swim all in one day? Now this sounds like a sport only grown-ups would be daring enough to do, but kids, no way. These kids are getting ready for the Dan & Sprinklin's Kids Triathlon and the Tri-Little Triathlon, both the world's largest kids events. Although most people don't attempt a race like this until they're in their late teens, these youngsters are giving it a shot before they even attend high school.
I read about it in the paper a few times, but I really didn't know what it was. So when I heard about it and I knew I read it in the paper, it was like, okay, I can do that.
What was the first day of practice like?
The first day it was like, God, this is harder than I expected, but after a while it was fine. It was just like an everyday thing.
Did you set goals for yourself?
Yes.
And what are they?
The biking goal is that I go fast and never stop. The swimming goal is that I swim better and I'll beat everybody in swimming.
So you're the one who masterminded this whole program. How did it come about?
Well, it was kind of like a dream of mine, or a goal that I had set for myself, is to, train some kids, do some things with them, to kind of keep them off the street. And triathlon was a sport I already knew something about, so I figured if I trained them in something that I was kind of good at or knew something about, it would be kind of easy. So I just needed opportunity to try to do that.
What's the most gratifying thing about running this type of group?
To see more young athletes get into the sport of triathlon, and if I can motivate them and keep them off the streets and, show them a positive way to, get involved in something that's safe, something that'll keep them in shape, and something that's kind of positive. It's a brand new sport, so we want to get our community involved in something new.
In order to be more successful in this event, the kids are getting inspiration as well as instruction from a few pros. What activities actually prepare them for the actual triathlon?
I think the biggest activity that prepares them is letting them know that they can do each of the distances in each of the 3 disciplines. Other than that, you just have to get out and try it.
By bringing the professionals, that really gave a big boost to a lot of the kids to let them know how far they can go with this sport. It's not just the small triathlon that they're doing. It goes all the way up to Ironman divisions. And by having the pros that kind of let them know that the pros let them know it's a hard sport, but it can be done. They let them know about all the opportunities to travel, see the world, and how to make money at this sport if you're good at it. So I think that really boosted their morale.
It's just nice to be able to come down here and share our experiences. I've been a professional triathlete for 13 years, and if I can just tell them what my goals were and maybe share them with them, it might get them inspired to come out and swim, bike, and run and become athletes themselves. It's a challenging goal, and I admire these kids for coming out and do that, because to master 3 sports, especially at such a young age, is very challenging, and if they can do it, I take my hat off to them.
This is the 5th year of the Dan and Sprinkling Kids Triathlon and the Try a Little Triathlon, and every year they get a huge turnout. This year was no exception. Over 600 kids converged on the Foster Street Beach earlier this month to put all of their practice to use, and it paid off because every one of the kids in the Chicago State University program finished the triathlon, which in itself is a success.
That's right. Now stay with us, because coming up next, I'm going to see what I can learn from one of the best point guards in the NBA.
Discover the hitting secrets of America's finest baseball school in a professional instructional videotape. Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing features professional scout and instructor Tom Unansky and the same award-winning tested under fire techniques that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Coach Unansky's study and analysis of thousands of baseball's best professional swings has yielded a no less than revolutionary approach to consistent hitting. It's proven, and you'll love its easy-to-understand step-by-step video training methods. Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing benefits players of all ages and ability levels. A valuable addition to any coach's library, too, and it makes a great gift. Thousands have been sold at $39.95, but if you'll call now and use your credit card, you'll pay only $29.95. Phone 1-800-341-6699 for Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing. That's 1-800-341-6699. This is the tape that gets results.
College football, I think it's the greatest thing going. The pageantry of college football, kids out there playing just because they love the game, tailgating, and everything that goes on, the bands at halftime. I think a day on a college campus and a college football game is one of the greatest things you can do. Kansas State coming in here, I think it's a great challenge for our kids. Obviously the best team that's ever come into Husky Stadium. They went to the Cotton Bowl last year. We're looking forward to having the Wildcats in here and just to see what the Huskies can do with them. NIU football is back in the MAC. See you this fall.
I guess I need to work on my skills a little bit. Maybe I should go to Tim Hardaway's camp. You know, he's a product of the South Side of Chicago, and he went to Carver High School. He's gone on to be one of the top point guards in the NBA, and his most potent move is killer crossover. Hardaway held a camp earlier this month to teach what he knows to a few others. Let's check it out. Over 200 kids got together at the UIC Pavilion earlier this month to participate in the Tim Hardaway basketball camp. Everybody wanted to see what they could learn from a player that came in 3rd place last year for the NBA's Most Valuable Player Award.
I just wanted to tell you all thank you for coming this week. We're going to have fun. I'm going to try to help you all enhance your skills, make your game better, make you understand the game better. So let's have a good camp. And let's try to stay injury-free, and let's have some fun, all right?
Now, I heard a story about you one time, and I heard that growing up, the killer crossover was with one of those little bouncy balls that you get out of a quarter machine, or with a softball. Now, is that true?
No, somebody fibbed to you. Somebody really fibbed to you. It was like killer crossover didn't didn't arrive until my last 2 years in college anyway. I always had, a lot of handles. I could do a lot of things with the basketball, but I just didn't have the killer crossover until my last 2 years.
Now, you grew up in Chicago. Were there opportunities like this for you to come to camps and play basketball?
Yeah, there was opportunities for me to go to camps, but they was like day camps. Day camps, you play soccer, baseball, hockey, all that type of stuff, But this camp is strictly basketball and teach them about life. And I'm here every day to help them understand, you may not make it in this sport, you may not make it in any sports, but it's still everyday life that you have to go through.
The camp was open on a first-come, first-served basis with as much individual attention given to the participants as possible. There were even a few players from South Africa that were invited to join the camp by Hardaway himself. Now, you came to this camp today in Chicago, Tim Hardaway's camp. What do you want to learn? What do you expect to get out of this?
Well, I'd like to see what other people can do, to improve my skills, just to see what people can do.
And what's more important than having a camp like this is to have an individual like Tim Hardaway to sponsor it and do it. And at a major university, you got kids coming around that will learn a little bit more about the campus atmosphere, a little bit more about education, and more important to them is the instructions you're getting from the caliber of coaches that are here will enhance your game of basketball. So this is extremely important than just playing out in the park. But I've known Tim ever since Tim was in maybe the 7th or 8th grade. And Tim has always displayed maturity, sportsmanship, and he's always been a tenacious defender. I mean, when he plays basketball, he always plays to win. He's extremely intense, and I think this camp shows him.
Another thing, there'll be no fighting in this camp. No elbows, no kicking, no talking back to the coaches, no cursing at the coaches, or you out of here.
Now, everybody knows that Tim's got skills, but I wanted to see for myself, up close and personal. So I challenged him to a 3-point game. But unfortunately, it was over quicker than you could say 1, 2, 3. Hey, I could have beat him, but it's his camp, and, I didn't want to embarrass him.
Yeah, right. You didn't even score a single point.
Well, like I said, I didn't feel it was my place to embarrass the man at his own camp. Hardaway camp has been going strong for 2 years now, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And even though the camp lasted a whole week, Tim was there every single day.
That's great. Well, coming up next in Schoolyard Jam, I head out for some judo lessons. You don't want to miss that.
This week on Bull Sox Underground. We all know what Dave Martinez can accomplish at the plate, but what does he do while waiting on deck?
This is what we call the Frank Thomas Special.
You won't be lonesome tonight when the Flying Elvises dive bomb into your living room, plus much more.
A lot of people, I think, don't remember. When I was walking in the other day, somebody asked me, can I help you?
I've got an author who I think you'll really enjoy. His name is Robert Piercy.
Tonight at 6:30 on Sports Channel.
Underground. To take advantage of the great deals at the Dodge Big Summer Clearance, you're going to have to act fast. Because with combined package values and discounts of up to $1,350, our supply of Dodge Dakotas will rapidly run out. With package values of up to $1,185,